Have you ever started something knowing you'll never see it finished? You plant seeds in soil that won't bloom in your lifetime. You build foundations for houses you'll never live in. You begin work that your children, maybe your grandchildren, might complete. And the world calls you foolish for it, because we live in the age of instant results, instant gratification, instant proof that our suffering mattered. But what if the greatest things were never meant to be finished by the hands that started them? 4,000 years ago, an old man stood before two mountains, and he picked up a shovel. His name was Yu Gong, the foolish old man. He's 90 years old, and his back bends like a question mark that's been asked too many times. The two mountains, Tai Hang and Wang Wu, rise before his village like ancient gods made of stone. They block the sun in winter. They trap the cold. To reach the nearest town, his people must walk 3 days around them, through paths that turn to mud and rain and ice in winter. The mountains smell of pine and wet rock, of permanence. Yu Gong stands at the base, and the wind coming down from the peaks cuts through his thin robe like a blade. His hands, gnarled, liver-spotted, trembling slightly, grip a wooden shovel. His sons stand behind him, his grandsons. They say nothing, but their eyes ask the question everyone is thinking. "What are you doing, old man?" He lifts the first shovelful of earth. The mountain doesn't notice. It has stood here for 10,000 years. It has felt earthquakes and floods and the slow erosion of centuries. One old man with a shovel is less than a whisper to stone. But Yu Gong digs anyway. The sound of shovel against earth is rhythmic, steady, like a heartbeat that refuses to stop. By evening, he's moved enough dirt to fill 2 baskets. The mountain is still there, exactly as it was, unchanged, unmoved. His neighbor, Ji So, the wise old man, comes to watch. He leans against his walking stick and laughs. Not cruelly, but with the kind of pity reserved for children who believe in impossible things. "You're 90 years old," Ji So says. His voice is reasonable, logical. "You can barely pull up the weeds in your garden, and you think you can move a mountain?" The word hangs in the air. Mountain. Yu Gong doesn't stop digging. Shovel in, dirt out, over and over. "I will dig until I die," he says quietly. "Then my sons will dig, then their sons, then their sons. Generations will pass, but the mountain—" He pauses, wipes sweat from his forehead with an earth-stained hand. "The mountain cannot grow. We can only diminish it." Ji So shakes his head and walks away, muttering about wasted effort and the foolishness of old age. And this is the moment most people miss in this story, because we focus on what happens next, the gods, the divine intervention, the miraculous ending. But the truth is in the silence after Ji So leaves. Yu Gong stands alone. The sun is setting, painting the mountains purple and gold. His shoulders ache, his hands bleed from blisters that have opened and closed a dozen times. He's moved perhaps 1/10,000th of 1% of one mountain, and he feels it, the crushing weight of futility. The question enters his mind like water through a crack. What if Ji So is right? He could stop. He could go home, tend his garden, enjoy what little time he has left. He could die in comfort instead of in dust. The shovel grows heavy in his hands. This is the real struggle, not the mountain, the doubt. Yu Gong sits on a boulder. He closes his eyes. And in that silence, something shifts. He realizes, I am not trying to move the mountain in my lifetime. That was never the point. The mistake was thinking it had to be. The world measures success by completion. Did you finish? Did you win? Can you point to the thing and say, I did that? But what if some work isn't meant to be finished? What if some work is meant to be faithful? He thinks of his grandson, 7 years old, watching him with wide eyes. The boy doesn't understand the impossibility yet. He just sees his grandfather, working, persistent, unbroken. What is he teaching the child? Not that mountains can be moved quickly, but that they can be moved. That impossible things become possible when someone is willing to begin, even if they'll never see the end. Yu Gong opens his eyes. The mountains are still there, massive and indifferent. But something has changed in him. The weight is gone, not the physical weight. His body still aches, his hands still bleed, but the spiritual weight, the burden of outcome, has lifted like morning fog. He picks up his shovel again, not because he'll finish, because someone will finish, and the beginning matters as much as the end. Tomorrow morning, you will wake up to your mountain. Maybe it's the novel you've been writing for 5 years that still isn't done. Maybe it's the degree that will take another decade. Maybe it's the broken relationship you're trying to heal, one conversation at a time, with no guarantee it will ever be whole. And the world will send you your own G-So, the voice of reason, of practicality, of giving up. It will come from others. It will come from inside your own head. It will say, why bother? You're too old, too late, too small. The mountain is too big. Here is what you must understand. You are not responsible for moving the entire mountain. You're responsible for today's shovelful of earth. That's it. Not the whole thing, just today's work. Your children or your students or someone you'll never meet, they'll carry the next shovel and the next. And one day, generations from now, someone will stand where the mountain used to be and never know your name. But the ground beneath their feet will be level because you began. This is the work that matters, the work that outlives you, the work that doesn't care about your timeline or your ego or your need to see results. Stop asking, will I finish this? Start asking, am I faithful to this? The old man dug until his hands bled, not because he was foolish, because he understood something the wise man didn't. The beginning is sacred, the continuation is sacred. The ending, when it comes, in whatever generation it comes, will take care of itself. The ancient texts say the gods were so moved by Yu Gong's persistence that they sent giants to carry the mountains away. But I think the real miracle was smaller. It was an old man choosing to dig. It was his son watching, then picking up his own shovel. It was a legacy of labor that transformed impossibility into inevitability one generation at a time. Your mountain is still there. It will be there tomorrow. The only question is, will you be there too, shovel in hand, moving it one small piece of earth at a time? The work is long, but it begins now.